The giant alien ship appeared in Earth's sky without warning. It hung over Seoul like a metal cloud, bigger than any building humans had ever made. People stopped in the streets to look up. Some ran. Some took pictures. The world watched and waited. Ji-hoon Kim was eating breakfast when his phone rang. As South Korea's top diplomat, he was not surprised by the call. "Mr. Kim, you must come now," said the voice of the president. "They want to talk to us." 3 hours later, Ji-hoon stood in a large room inside the alien ship. The air smelled like metal and something sweet he could not name. 2 aliens stood before him. One was tall with 4 arms and skin like golden scales. The other was shorter with blue skin and eyes that blinked sideways. "I am Admiral Krell of the Vespid," said the tall one. Its voice came from a small box on its chest. "This is Commander Mox of the Centaurians. We speak for the Galactic Council." Ji-hoon bowed slightly. "I am Ji-hoon Kim. I speak for Earth." Admiral Krell made a sound like water bubbling. Ji-hoon realized it was laughing. "Your world is very young," Krell said. "We have watched you for some time. You fight each other over land and ideas. You burn fuels that hurt your air. You have only visited your own moon." "We are still learning," Ji-hoon said calmly. Commander Mox stepped forward. "The Galactic Council rules 10,000 worlds. We bring peace and order. We wish to offer Earth protection." "Protection from what?" Ji-hoon asked. "The galaxy is not always safe," Krell said. "There are races that would see your world as easy to take. Your weapons would not stop them." Ji-hoon felt a chill. "And what would Earth give the Council in return?" "Resources, some of your art and music. We find it interesting." Krell pointed at Ji-hoon with one of its 4 hands. "You would not be full members. You would be a protectorate. We would teach you, help you grow. In a few hundred years, perhaps you could join as full members." Ji-hoon noticed how Krell looked down at him, how Mox stood with its arms crossed. They were being nice, but he could feel that they did not think humans were equals. "I must speak with our world leaders," Ji-hoon said. "Of course," Mox replied. "We will wait 3 of your days for an answer." Later, in an emergency meeting with world leaders, Ji-hoon explained what he had seen and heard. "They think we are children," he said. "They offer protection, but they see us as weak." "Can we trust them?" asked the American president. "I believe they are honest about protection," Ji-hoon said, "but they will not treat us as equals. They will expect us to follow their rules." "Do we have a choice?" asked another leader. "If there are dangerous aliens out there, we need their help." Ji-hoon looked at the faces around him. "I think we should accept their offer for now. We can learn about them, about their technology, about the galaxy. We need time." 3 days later, Ji-hoon returned to the alien ship. Admiral Krell and Commander Mox waited. "Earth accepts your offer," Ji-hoon said. "We will join the Galactic Council as a protectorate." Krell nodded its large head. "A wise choice. You will find that war as you know it does not exist in our civilized galaxy. We have moved beyond such primitive means." Ji-hoon smiled politely, but he thought about human history, about all the wars his people had fought. He wondered if these aliens truly understood what humans knew about fighting, about survival. "We look forward to learning from you," he said. But as he left the ship, Ji-hoon could not help thinking that someday these aliens might learn something from humans too. Something they might not expect. 3 years had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council as a protectorate. Captain Sunwoo Park stood by the large window on the Council flagship, the Eternal Light. The ship was huge, nearly the size of a small city. Stars streaked by as they moved faster than light. Sunwoo was part of the Human Exchange Program. As one of Earth's top military minds, he was sent to learn how the Council fought wars. So far, he was not impressed. "Captain Park, you are needed in the war room," said a voice behind him. Sunwoo turned to see Tala, an alien engineer with green skin and 4 eyes. Unlike most aliens, Tala treated Sunwoo with respect. Another war game? Sungu asked. Tala nodded. Admiral Krell wants to show off the new battle plans. The war room was filled with alien officers from 20 different worlds. They stood around a large table that showed stars and planets as small lights. Sunwoo and Tala found places at the back. Admiral Krell pointed at the map. The enemy fleet will arrive here. We will form a line here. Their ships will approach. We will fire when they are at this exact distance. They will retreat after losing 30% of their fleet. Sunwoo frowned. How do you know they will retreat at 30%? The room went quiet. Admiral Krell looked annoyed. Because that is the sensible point to retreat. No commander would risk more losses. What if they don't act sensibly? Sunwoo asked. What if they keep fighting? That would be uncivilized, said Commander Mox from across the table. Galactic warfare follows rules. We do not fight to destroy, only to show strength and claim resources. Sunwoo wanted to say more but saw the looks from the other aliens. They did not want his ideas. Later, Sunwoo and Tala walked through the ship's garden area. Real plants from 100 worlds grew there. They didn't like your questions, Tala said. They fight like it's a game with points, Sunwoo replied. On Earth, we fight to win. Tala looked around to make sure no one could hear. There is something you should know. The Corvin Dominion is growing stronger. They don't fight like the Council. Who are the Corvins? Sunwoo asked. An empire from the Outer Rim. They were small for centuries, but now they take more worlds each year. The Council thinks they will stay in their space, follow the rules of war. Tala's 4 eyes blinked nervously. I don't think they will. The Council seems very sure of itself, Sunwoo said. They have not faced a real enemy in 1,000 years. They have forgotten what real war is like. Tala touched a plant with 4-fingered hands. I studied your Earth wars. Your people know something the Council has forgotten. What's that? That in real war, there are no rules. Tala looked at Sunwoo. The Council thinks war is about who has the most ships or the best technology. They don't understand that sometimes the one who wants to win the most is the one who wins. That night, Sunwoo wrote a report to send back to Earth. He wrote about the warning came at night. Alarms rang throughout the Galactic Council's main station. Emergency lights flashed red. General Minji Han rushed to the command center. As Earth's military liaison to the Council for the past year, she had never seen the aliens look scared. Tonight, they did. What's happening? She asked Commander Mox. The Corvin Dominion has attacked 3 border worlds, Mox said, his blue skin looking pale. They didn't send the proper war declarations. They didn't follow the approach protocols. On the big screen, Minji saw planets burning. Alien ships, black and sharp like knives, cut through the Council's neat defense lines. How many ships did we lose? She asked. 400, said Admiral Krell, joining them. The Corvins lost only 20. They didn't. Alarms blared through Proxima Station. Red lights flashed in every hallway. General Minji Han ran to the command center, where alien officers moved in panic. The Corvins are coming, said Captain Lorix, a tall alien with skin like tree bark. A fleet of 50 ships heading for Talos, the supply world. Minji looked at the map. Talos was important. It had food and fuel for 100 Council worlds. Where is Commander Vex? She asked. Preparing the defense line, Lorix replied. We have 30 ships ready. Minji found Commander Vex, a purple-skinned alien with 6 eyes, arranging ship markers in a straight line on the command table. Commander, we need to change the plan, Minji said. Vex didn't look up. We will form the line here. When the Corvin ships approach to firing range, we will. They'll cut through your line like they've done 5 times before, Minji interrupted. Now Vex looked at her. All 6 eyes blinked. This is the proper defense formation. It's predictable. The Corvins know exactly what you'll do. Minji moved closer to the map. Let me show you something different. 2 hours later, the Corvin fleet arrived. Their black ships moved in perfect formation toward Talus. They expected to see the Council's ships in a line, easy to break. Instead, they found empty space. "Where are they?" asked the Corvin commander, his red eyes narrowing. "Scan the area." Suddenly, Council ships appeared from behind Talus's small moon. Others jumped out from behind asteroids. They didn't fire from the expected distance. They came in close, too close for the Corvin's long-range weapons to work well. Commander Vex watched from his ship as the human plan unfolded. He had argued against it, but Minji had been firm. "Don't form a line," she had said. "Hide your ships. Attack from different directions. Get in close where their big guns are hard to aim. Don't follow patterns. Be unpredictable." Now, watching the battle, Vex couldn't believe what he saw. The Corvin ships broke formation, confused by attacks from multiple sides. Some Corvin captains fired wildly, hitting their own ships. Minji's voice came through the comm. "Now launch the small fighters." Hundreds of small, fast ships zoomed from the Council carriers. On Earth, they would be called fighter jets. The Council had never used them this way before. The small ships flew between the big Corvin vessels, firing at engines and weapon systems. The Corvins couldn't hit them. It was like trying to swat tiny bugs. "This is not proper space combat," Vex said, but he couldn't hide the excitement in his voice. "No," Minji agreed from her command post. "This is human combat." 3 hours later, it was over. 20 Corvin ships were destroyed. 15 more were damaged and retreating. The Council had lost only 7 ships. Word of the victory spread fast. The first real win against the Corvins. On the main Council station, leaders gathered to discuss what had happened. "They used tricks," said one Council member, his tentacles waving angrily. "Hiding ships, attacking in small groups. This is not honorable warfare." "But it worked," said another, a small alien with glowing skin. The Corvins were defeated. Admiral Krell looked troubled. "If we fight like this, we become like them. Like barbarians." Jihoon Kim stood up. The room went quiet. "With respect," he said, "there is a human saying, 'The dead cannot care about honor.' If you lose this war with honor, your people will still be dead or enslaved." Later, on a secure channel, Minji spoke with Jihoon. "The Council is divided," Jihoon told her. "Some want more human tactics. Others are shocked by how we fight." "And the Corvins?" Minji asked. "They've sent a message asking about the new strategy. They want to know which species designed it." Jihoon smiled. "They don't know about humans yet, but they will soon." Minji nodded. "Good, let them wonder. Next time, we'll show them something even more surprising." 3 months after the victory at Talus, Earth sent its own ships to join the war. The Human Expeditionary Force, or HEF, consisted of 20 ships built with a mix of Earth and Council technology. Admiral Daehyun Cho stood on the bridge of the flagship, Earth Force One. "Status report," Daehyun said to his crew. "All ships ready, Admiral," replied his second-in-command. "Engineers Ju and Haijin have finished the weapon upgrades." Engineers Ju Lee and Haijin Kang were Earth's best minds. They had taken Council weapons and made them better, more deadly, more unpredictable. The Council had given humans control of defending a small group of planets that they called non-essential. These worlds were far from the Council center, but still had people living on them. "The Council thinks these worlds aren't worth much," Daehyun told his captains in a meeting, "but we will defend them like they are Earth itself." On the main screen, a map showed the 5 planets they would protect. Around them, Daehyun had placed dots representing the HEF ships. "We won't wait for the Corvins to attack," he said. "We'll make them think these planets are better defended than they are." "How?" asked one captain. Daehyun smiled. "We'll use what humans do best. We'll trick them." Over the next few weeks, the HEF moved through their space in ways that confused the Corvins. They made fake radio signals that sounded like hundreds of ships. They put small beacons on asteroids that looked like warships on Corvin sensors. When 3 Corvin scout ships came to look at the planets, the HEF didn't attack right away. They waited until the scouts were about to leave, then struck hard and fast. All 3 scouts were destroyed before they could send warnings. The Corvins, confused by the loss of their scouts, sent a larger force of 15 ships. Admiral Dahyun was ready. "They expect us to defend the planets directly," he told his crew. "Instead, we'll hit them where they don't expect." The HEF ships hid in a nearby asteroid field. When the Corvin fleet passed by, heading for the planets, Dahyun gave the order. Now, human ships shot out from the asteroids, but they didn't just use lasers and plasma weapons. Engineers Ju and Haijin had built something new. "Launch the gravity bombs," Dahyun ordered. Small devices attached to Corvin ships. When activated, they created tiny gravity fields that pulled the ships in different directions, making them crash into each other. "Use the mining drones," was the next command. Machines meant for breaking up asteroids now cut into Corvin ship hulls. The Corvins had never seen weapons like these before. In 2 hours, the battle was over. 12 Corvin ships destroyed, 3 escaped but badly damaged. The HEF lost only 2 ships. News of the human victory spread through Council space. Admiral Krell called an emergency meeting with Ji-hoon Kim. "Your people fight like nothing we've seen," Krell said. His voice wasn't angry anymore. It was respectful. "You use mining tools as weapons. You trick enemy sensors. You don't follow any battle plan we understand." "We use what we have," Ji-hoon replied. "On Earth, we learned that war isn't about having the best weapons. It's about using what you have in ways your enemy doesn't expect." Back in human space, Ju and Haijin worked day and night on new weapons and ships. "The Council thinks technology must be perfect to be useful," Ju said as he built a new kind of missile. "But humans know that sometimes simple is better." Haijin nodded. "The Corvins are starting to fear our ships now. They don't know what we'll do next." "They're learning," Ju said. "The humans don't fight by the rules. We fight to win." Across Council space, other species began to watch humans with new interest. Some were afraid. Some were impressed. All of them realized that the galaxy was changing because of Earth's arrival. And the Corvins, for the first time in their history, began to worry about an enemy they couldn't predict. The Galactic Council main hall was silent. On the large screen, images showed Corvin ships approaching the Centauri system, home to one of the Council's oldest members. If it fell, the Council capital would be next. Admiral Krell stood before the gathered leaders. "We have lost 23 systems. Our main fleet has been pushed back in every battle. The Corvins will reach our core worlds in days." A tall alien with crystal skin spoke. "What do you suggest, Admiral?" Krell's 4 hands opened in a gesture of surrender. "I suggest we ask the humans for full help, not just advice." Voices rose in argument. Some agreed, others did not. Finally, the Council leader raised a hand for silence. "Bring in the human representatives," he ordered. Ji-hoon Kim and Sunwoo Park entered the hall. They had been waiting outside, knowing this moment would come. "Humans," the Council leader said, "we request your full military participation in this war. Not as advisors, but as leaders." Ji-hoon bowed slightly. "Earth is ready to help, but we must have real authority." "What do you need?" asked Krell. "A joint war council," Sunwoo said, "with galactic and human leaders. Equal power. No more arguments about proper warfare." The council agreed. Within days, the Joint War Council was formed. Sunwoo Park became chief strategist. His first action was to call all fleet commanders to a meeting. "The Corvins think they know how we fight now," Sunwoo told them. "They expect tricks, so we will trick them about our tricks." The alien commanders looked confused. Sunwoo smiled and began to explain. At Nexus Station, a key point between the Corvin advance and the Council capital. Admiral Dahyun prepared the trap. The station was huge, built where 3 space lanes met. Whoever controlled it controlled movement through a large part of the galaxy. "Status report," Dahyun said to his crew. "All ships in position," replied his second-in-command. "The Corvins will arrive in 2 hours." "And the special weapons?" "Engineers Juwoo and Haijin have them ready." The Corvin fleet arrived right on time. 100 ships, their largest force yet. They approached cautiously, looking for human tricks. They saw what they expected. Council ships hiding behind moons and asteroids, small fighters ready to attack. The Corvins had prepared for this. Their ships spread out to avoid being trapped. "They're spreading their fleet," Dahyun said, just as Sunwoo predicted. "Shall we attack?" asked the Council captain. "Not yet. Let them think they've figured us out." The Corvins moved forward, ready for the human style of attack. But no attack came. Confused, they moved closer to Nexus Station. "Now," Dahyun ordered. But the attack didn't come from the hidden ships. It came from Nexus Station itself. The station, which looked normal on Corvin scans, suddenly opened to reveal huge weapons. Not Council weapons, human weapons. At the same time, what looked like empty space around the Corvins filled with thousands of tiny robots. Each one latched onto a Corvin ship and began cutting into the hull. "What is this?" shouted the Corvin commander. "Phase 2, Dahyun ordered. The hidden Council ships finally attacked, but not all at once. They attacked in waves, from different directions, never following the same pattern twice. The Corvin fleet tried to regroup, but they couldn't predict where the next attack would come from. When they focused on the small robots, the big ships hit them. When they turned to face the big ships, more robots attacked." From his command post, Sunwoo watched the battle unfold. "The Corvins think war is about strength," he said. "But humans know it's about seeing what your enemy expects and doing something different." After 6 hours, the battle was over. 60 Corvin ships destroyed, the rest retreating. It was the biggest defeat the Corvins had ever suffered. News of the victory spread across Council space. For the first time, people believed the Corvins could be beaten. The Corvin's supreme commander, a tall figure with red skin and eyes like fire, stood in his war room. "I want to meet these humans," he said to his officers. "I want to see the creatures who fight without honor, who change the rules of war." "They are dangerous," said one officer. "Yes," agreed the commander. "That is why we must learn from them, or destroy them all." 2 months after the battle at Nexus Station, General Minji Han stood in the war room on Earth Force One. The map showed Corvin ships moving in new patterns. "They're changing," she said to Admiral Dahyun and Sunwoo Park. "Look at how they move now." Sunwoo studied the map. "They're not using their old formations. They're spreading out, using asteroids for cover." "They're copying us," Dahyun said. "Learning human tactics." News came from all fronts. Corvin ships now attacked from multiple directions. They used tricks and traps. They no longer followed the rules of proper warfare. In a council meeting, many alien leaders were upset. "The war is getting worse," shouted a tall alien with tentacles for arms. "More ships are being destroyed. More people are dying. This is not how war should be." "The Corvins are using human methods now," said Commander Mox. "They attack civilian ships. They destroy whole planets. They show no honor." Admiral Krell looked at Ji-hoon Kim. "Your human ways have made the war bloodier." Ji-hoon stood calmly. The Corvins were always going to fight this way eventually. They'd want to win, not to look good. "At least now we can fight back." Some council members agreed with Ji-hoon. Others did not. The council was splitting apart. Back on Earth Force One, Julie worked on a new weapon system. It could change and adapt to enemy attacks. If the Corvins tried to block it one way, it would find another way through. "The Corvins are learning," Ju told Haijin Kang as they worked. "But humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We have more tricks to show them. Hyjin nodded. We need to be ready. Our next attack must be something they cannot copy. On a secure channel, Minji spoke with Jihoon. The council is turning against us, she said. Some are, Jihoon agreed. But many of the smaller species support humans now. They see that we can win this war. And after the war, Minji asked, will the galaxy ever be the same? Jihoon shook his head. No. War has changed forever here. The Council's civilized warfare is gone. Are we bringing something bad to the stars? Minji wondered. Teaching aliens how to kill each other better. Or maybe we're teaching them how to survive. Jihoon said. The Corvins would have destroyed the Council eventually. At least now there's a chance. The Corvin's Supreme Commander, Drakis, sat in his private chamber. On his screen were images of human ships and weapons. These humans, he said to his top general, they are different from the Council races. They do not care about looking good in battle. They care only about winning. Like us, said the general. No, Drakis shook his head. We fight for glory. For empire. Humans fight because they must. Because they are used to being weaker than their enemies. We can beat them, the general said. We are learning their ways. Perhaps Drakis looked at the images again, or perhaps they are showing us only what they want us to see. I wonder what other surprises they have. A month later, a human fleet met a Corvin force at the Orion Nebula. The humans used new tactics again, not fighting directly but drawing the Corvins into clouds of gas that damaged their engines. The Corvins tried to copy this tactic in the next battle, but the humans were already doing something different. Across Council space, the war grew more intense. More ships were lost on both sides. More worlds suffered. But slowly, system by system, the Corvins were being pushed back. In her private quarters, Minji looked at a map of Earth. So small, so far away. Yet now its ways of war were changing a galaxy. We're winning, she told herself. But at what cost? The final battle was coming. And it would show the galaxy once and for all what humans could really do. The Joint War Council room was filled with leaders from Earth and the Galactic Council. Admiral Daehyun Cho pointed to the map showing the Corvin home system. This is where we end the war, he said. We take the fight to their home. Some council members looked shocked. In all their history, they had never attacked an enemy's home world. It wasn't done in civilized warfare. The Corvins will expect us to stop at their outer planets. Sun Mupark explained. They won't think we would dare attack their actual home. Which is exactly why we must, Minji Han added. They still don't fully understand how humans fight. After much debate, the plan was approved. The largest fleet ever gathered in the galaxy, council ships and human ships together, prepared for the final battle. On the eve of the attack, Jihoon Kim visited Admiral Krell in his quarters. Tomorrow will change everything, Jihoon said. Krell nodded, his golden scales catching the light. Your people have already changed everything. War will never be the same in our galaxy. Is that good or bad? Jihoon asked. I don't know, Krell admitted. But I do know we would have lost without you. The next day, the Allied fleet jumped into the Corvin system. As expected, the Corvins had their strongest defenses around their outer planets. They didn't think anyone would target their actual homeworld. But that's exactly what the humans did. While the main fleet engaged the Corvin forces at the outer planets, a smaller, faster group of ships slipped past. This special force was led by Hyjin Kang, who had left her engineering work to lead this critical mission. Stay close and follow exactly, she told her pilots as they weaved through asteroid fields and gas clouds, avoiding Corvin sensors. On the Corvin homeworld, Supreme Commander Drakis watched the battle at the outer planets. He smiled, thinking the humans and council forces were doing exactly what he expected. Then alarms sounded. Ships approaching the homeworld, shouted an officer. Impossible, Drakis said. No one attacks a homeworld directly. But the humans did. Heijin's team had not come to destroy the planet. They had a different mission. While Council and Corvin ships fought in space, her team landed near the Corvin Command Center. Using stealth suits designed by Jiwoo, they slipped inside. Fighting their way through surprised guards, they reached the main control room. Drakis turned to find Heijin and her team standing there, weapons ready. "How did you get here?" he asked in shock. "Humans don't follow rules in war," Heijin said simply. "We do what works." Within hours, the news spread across the galaxy. The Corvin command was captured. Drakis had surrendered. The war was over. A month later, representatives from all worlds gathered on the Council station. Humans now sat as full members of the Galactic Council. Admiral Krell approached Sunwoo Park after the meeting. "How can a species so young understand war so thoroughly?" Krell asked. Sunwoo looked at him. "We don't understand war. We survived it. There's a difference between those who study war as theory and those who've had to master it to survive." Krell thought about this. What happens now? Will the galaxy ever return to civilized warfare? "No," Sunwoo said honestly. "That time is gone. But maybe something better can replace it." "Better than civilized war?" Krell seemed confused. "Better than any war," Sunwoo explained. "On Earth, we learned that the best way to avoid war is to be very, very good at it. When everyone knows how terrible war can be, peace becomes more valuable." In another part of the station, Jihoon Kim signed the new treaty making Earth a full council member. Next to it was another document creating a new military academy, with humans as the main teachers. Looking out at the stars, Jihoon thought about how far humanity had come. From being seen as weak primitives to becoming the species that saved the galaxy. "We showed them what humans can do," he said quietly to himself. "Now we need to show them what humans can build." Outside the window, ships from 100 worlds flew past, and among them, bearing the flag of Earth, flew the ships that had changed the galaxy forever. The end.